Girl, who's gonna get dragged?
Take off your boxing gloves.
I'm talking about for fighting in this journey. What the hell you talking about? Talking about boxing you? Girl, bye. That's not even my style. Trust me, she don't want this smoke, Tommy.
I want it. I want it. I want it. I want
You
it.
don't want this smoke. Trust me.
I want it. I want all of it.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. You ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, we're going to be talking to you guys about Ready to Love. And we're going to start off with the absolute madness. Because if you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, then get out. Chile, baby. If you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, Chile, baby. Get out the kitchen. Listen, we're going to start off with an absolute bang. We're going to start with Divine and the Alexis beef. I'm going to start from the end, coming back to the beginning, because that's where the energy is. Boom! Listen, we're going to get into this. So, I want to just kind of give an overview. So, obviously watching Alexis, some of you guys have seen one of the videos. I've backed Alexis since the end, not really the beginning, but since coming into the process and watching how they play the game, I've backed Alexis in the game that she's played. We've now got to the end and we've seen some behaviours now which have shown some concern, and I must call them out. Now, I call out the male's behaviour, I call out the female's behaviour, I must call them out. But at the same time, what I'm seeing from Alexis is what I see from a lot of men a lot of time. Pride, ego, yeah, fear, yeah, self-defense mechanisms such as rationalization, yeah, displacement. We're seeing also there is, what's the other one? There is regression going on here as well. That's going on with it as well. So there's quite a few things that are going on when this game gets played, because the whole point is when you feel like you're being attacked, when you feel like you're being embarrassed, when you feel like your ego is taking a bruising, some of these self-defense mechanisms happen to a lot of us. Yeah, it may look like it's a bit more mad because we're seeing Alexis' behaviour, we're seeing people at London, we're seeing Mario, but these are the behaviours that we all exhibit at times and at different seasons in our life. And we're going to identify some of those particular defence mechanisms in this particular sense of videos as well going forward. Cool. So, I mean, the first thing we're going to say, obviously, is that...
Definitely think that he's been playing the both of us. It's starting to feel like he's moving around like a shyster.
That she said, obviously, yes. You know, we both were getting played. And I have to put it this way. Actually, technically, they won. Yes, Divine had put herself out there, and yes, Alexa put herself out, but technically, Divine wasn't getting played because she actually stepped back. And that's the truth of the matter. Lexus was seeing Divine as her competition, and because of that, and because of, Alexis has her own ego. Let's just be real. Everyone has an ego, but she's put forth. She put forth at the very beginning. I remember the very first episode where people were given their VT roles. She was mentioning about the fact that, oh, okay, cool. You know what? She's come here to do this, that, A, B, and C, and D. When she put that out there, she had to do it.
Threatened by competition. I love competition. I embrace it. For me, that would just be like, all right. Game on.
You see, I remember when we were younger, we used to play, or not even younger, even to this day and age, when you're playing, like when we used to play console and play like game consoles with your boy, or play sports with your boy, and you run your mouth, and then suddenly you end up losing, what do? You can either humble yourself, or there are many of us who don't humble themselves, who actually then seek through defense mechanisms, start to what? Defend themselves, right? And give excuses as to why they lost, or the fact is, okay, you won, but you ain't really that good. You got lucky, it was a lucky shot to do this. So actually just saying, do you know what? I was humbled. And a lot of us can't do that because there's so much pride in us, and we refuse to lose our image and reputation. Therefore, we find ourselves in a place where Alexis was, which is that now you enter into a space of what I call regression. Childlike tantrum behavior, where you begin to insult the individual, you begin to call them names, you begin to say certain things, because what you really want is the attention to be drawn off you, and the fact that you stated earlier on that you were coming for this, that, you didn't get this, that, and actually what happened was, the person that you actually wanted, who you thought was also beneath you, because one of the things that Alexis also has shown to me is that she feels that London is not on her level. She felt, and the reason why I said that's because she made a
Okay, we're cut from two different cloths.
Clearly, but
If I was still interested in London, he would still be on the fence with his big ass, hanging on for dear life. On the
comment towards the end where she said what that big ass London was hanging on by a thread, etc., etc. Look, that insult there was what we call regression. And what I also saw from that was that when she said that, it's because she sees him as below herself. That wasn't her level of game. You understand? Because as much as she was hurt by what he done, that insult there showed me that she doesn't really consider London to be on her level. You understand? She's playing a game and she feels she's above that game. Now, again, the reason why I say I can't hate Alexis is because many men portray this behavior and you women don't have the same energy for her. So I need to keep that balance. You understand? Say it with me, balance. And so what I'm explaining is what happens not only to women, but to men too. What we're seeing though is an overtness of that ego coming through from Alexis, and it's unpretty. This is what a lot of men actually, this is what a lot of women confuse men as being confident or being slightly cocky, but it's attractive still. But when a woman's doing it, it's like, oh my God, it's a turn off. And there's reasons for that, because we expect men to behave like this. We expect men to be peacocks, rather than actually saying, no, that's actually bad. Do you know what I mean? But let me see my drink.
Definitely think that he's been playing the both of us. It's starting to feel like he's moving around like a shyster.
I mean, the reason why she also said we are the ones got played is, again, I got to draw you into this because I can't take the flack alone. I can't have been embarrassed alone. I can't have been done out here alone. I can't have been made a fool of alone. No. Alexis doesn't get played like that. Are you mad? No. We got played because that means that we share the embarrassment. You understand? Now it's we get played, because when you're on your own and you get embarrassed, it's completely different. It's a bit like fear. When you walk out in the night time and you have a friend with you, the fear is shared. But when you're on your own, it becomes more scarier because you're what? On your own. And so here is what Alexis is doing. She's roping someone else into this, even though Divine actually is not really part of this, because this was you, Alexis. You played the game, and this is the result of the game. You didn't win the way you wanted to win the game. Right? In some shape or form, Alexis still kind of won in her own way, and the reason why I say that is because coming from an ego mentalist point of view, this is something that I've also learned. I've played it before as well. I know the game, which is you win by mentally winning, not by winning physically. So I'll explain this.
I'm glad that it happened because it left space for me to see Brent.
When I was probably a bit more younger, I wasn't a person that wanted to sleep around, yeah, because I had a religious mindset. And I grew up in church, and having sex was like something that, it's drummed into you that, you're not meant to be doing. So for me, it was not about bedding girls. Yeah, if I bed the girl, I don't really win because I'm adding bodies to my count. I've got to explain this to the Lord somehow, even though I wasn't saved at that point in time. But what it allowed me to develop from that point of view was, how do I win this game then? Then I have to win it in a different way, which is I have to get my ego supplied. Because listen, the game is about the ego of the individual. Men cheat on women for ego. Me doing my game as a mentalist, or Alexis doing a game as a mentalist, is also about the ego. Everything's about ego. Whether I bed you or don't bed you, whether I draw you into my emotions or not, whether I use you or not, it's all about the ego. Yeah? And that needs to get supplied. So an ego mentalist here is somebody who wins the game mentally, yeah? So what I do is I draw you in emotionally, and I get you to a point where either you'd want a relationship or you'd want sex from me, and then I can say, do you know what, I've won the game. Game over, right? And so this is where Alexis has resorted her game to, because originally her game was to back London, yeah? But then the game doesn't work out the same way. So what does she do? She changes the game to now, I will beat London. The game has flipped, right? Because she wanted to get London into a place where he would choose her. That hasn't happened, and actually he's chosen a Divine. That's painful because that's part of the ego game. And now what she's done is she's flipped it and said, well, the game will now change to me trying to hurt London and Divine. That will give me my victory. Now, it may sound sadistic, it may sound crazy, but many of you do this. Many of you box yourself into games like this, but call yourself, I'm a good person. And it's something that I learned when I was growing up with the guys. A lot of my goons, man, they were all about the sex thing, and I really wasn't about that. But one day, one of my guys told me something. He said, listen, bro, you are just as bad as us. You sell people dreams. At least, he said, at least I give them some dick. Let me be real with you. He said, at least I give them some sex. But you, bro, you take them to the point where they're about to have sex, and then you walk away. He said, bro, you sell dreams on a different level. And that day, I opened my eyes to say, I am not a good guy. I thought I was a good guy. I thought I was a part of that percentage of good men. But when I realized that the same thing happening to him is happening to me. Ego. And that's where a lot of people are. So when you play this game called game, yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. This is what happens. The game is all about the ego. So what you're seeing is about the ego. And the ego is shrouded in pride and fear. And an insecurity in yourself because you're not secure in something. You need to win all the time.
Affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Should we go through that?
Go through it. Let's air it out.
It's a waste of my time.
Yeah? I know this because I've been there. And do you know what? Even recently I had a situation where I was dealing with somebody and I went back to old ways. And I had to say to myself, why did I do that? And I said, because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want this person to take advantage of me. I don't want this person to make them feel like they won something over me. You never won nothing. It can never be me. Pride, ego, fear, insecurity, all of that is bubbling up and working its way through. So maybe you need to also look at yourself and say, hey, what I'm seeing in Alexis, have I ever been that way? Am I being that way? Am I dealing with guys or dealing with girls that way? You know what I'm saying? It's not just a sleeping around or cheating on girl that means there's an ego. There's other aspects of game that people play. People use people as rebounds. You're using them as a rebound. It's ego. You want to feel better about yourself, so you use another person. It's ego. You are just as bad as me in a boat. You're just as bad as the person sleeping around in the boat. Just because yours doesn't look like it has as greater consequences, you're still in the boat of ego.
To me, I mean, she's great, but I would like to date a woman who doesn't have children. Divine has children.
Alexis also said as well, you know, there was a thing about where she mentioned about the kids situation where London had told her about the fact that he didn't want to be dating someone who's got kids. Now I don't technically believe that that he said that. I think he might have overtly, not even overtly, he might have inadvertently maybe said something along those lines, but not directly saying I don't want to date someone like that. He may have said maybe I prefer, and what Alexis has done is what we call embellishment. She's hyperboled the situation, actually taking it as gospel when she really knows it's not gospel. He just kind of said something, and technically it ends up not being a lie. And actually, it's the greatest way to tell a lie, which is actually to tell part of the truth. Yeah, that's the greatest way to tell a lie. I mean, that way it doesn't look like a lie because there's part of truth in it. But I don't believe he overtly said outrightly, oh, I don't want to date Divine because she's got kids, or I don't want to date no one with kids. I don't think he said that. But I think there was fringes of that conversation that she took and put that on there. Because I don't think Alexis is an outright liar. I think she's somebody who embellishes and then uses that as a way to lie. There's a difference. Some people are liars where they take something out of the blue and just ram it to you. And there's liars who are very conniving, who twist certain scripture like Satan does and just turns it around and then makes it into the truth.
Me that I was aggressive because I'm not aggressive. And the one thing is, like you said, he told you that what he liked about me was that I wasn't aggressive. So things aren't adding up.
A further point I was telling you about how Alexis wants to draw Divine in. She mentioned about the fact that obviously, how do you feel about the fact that obviously he threw you underneath the bus? And it's like, Alexis, what do you mean he threw her underneath the bus? Like, and again, this is all about the fact is, I can't get played alone. We got played. You understand? And I remember a distinct situation back in the day. Remember I was talking about my ego mentalist. And there was a situation where I was talking to this girl. We'd known each other for a little while. And obviously, at the time, she had got a man. But we were still flirting, still talking about how I'd come over, do things, do that. And how we met was obviously when she had a man anyway. And I was moving a bit mad. Do you get me? So obviously when we're dropping bars to each other on the text and everything like that, I'm a person that's not going to go out and bait your business. You understand? Like whether you're doing something with your man or not your man, I don't care if that's you. That's your life. I can't come now and say anything. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I'm not going to be disrespectful like that. But I had obviously gone over to that to the cribbo that day, and she was with a few friends, right? And everybody was bantering, catching jokes on the table, and I remember, yeah, the girl tried to hop me up saying about, but you're the one that even wants me, like you're always on my line, blah blah blah. And I was like, how is she bodying me in front of everybody? No, can never be me that you're bodying me in front of everybody. All your friends want to body me and tell me that I'm here because I'm trying to get something from you, but I'm not going to get it from you. And I'm here just to play, you're basically, I'm here to fill your ego. I was like, whoa, is that where we're going now? I said, all right, that's funny because I haven't got the partner. You got a partner. And I said, if I'm here because of that, what does that mean about you? Because you got a partner, I haven't. Do you get it? And fam, our relationship was never the same after that. Because there was no way I was going to allow someone to body me in front of other people and allow that. And this is where we get Alexis' situation, the embarrassment. You know, people do different things when they feel like they're being embarrassed.
It's not the environment to just beeline for the person that you want to be with, but at the same time, you could have been matching what you've been telling me behind the scenes.
I've never told you on the phone that you're number one.
You use other words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Should we go through that?
Go through it. Let's air it out.
It's a waste of my time.
Now, you remember the story she said at the very beginning where she said, obviously, when she was younger, she was a pretty girl, but people were always cussing her, getting onto her, blah, 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 having fights and stuff like that. That mindset is still in her today. She refuses to lose. I refuse to lose. This is why she's so good at the game. Because other girls are willing to take L's. I'm just being real. You see, she takes the mindset of what Mandem have. Mandem have the, I refuse to take L's. I refuse to be embarrassed. I refuse to be the one where a girl can play me. That mindset leads to what Alexis is doing right now. When you have that mindset, you got what Alexis has got, yeah? This is why when you're playing certain sports and certain people are bad losers, they end up doing the most maddest things. Doing crazy tackles, breaking the rules, you know what I'm saying? Seeing red because they refuse to lose the game and they have no dignity in that area. They're humble, they lack humility in that area, right? And so because of that, pride kicks in and then they have to drag other people in and do things they don't want to do. This is where Alexis is because some of the things that she's doing, some of the things that she's telling, like you talk about how you were on a freeway conversation, yeah? Makes no sense. Okay, so listen, let's go into that. The freeway conversation, yeah, I don't believe genuinely happened. Here's why I don't believe it genuinely happened.
Next thing you know, he's calling you on three-way. And
so let's back up. When he makes this three-way call, he's talking to Divine, and you're on the line.
One, if you tell me you was on a freeway call, yeah, you should be able to tell me exactly what I said. And you notice the way that Alexis actually explains it. She can't tell you exactly what was said.
In the beginning, and you said on the phone, no, you haven't. You haven't chosen. I know that, you know, basically you were backtracking.
I said that with him on the phone?
Yes.
By Divine or by London. And she goes, oh, basically, you basically were backtracking, basically. No, tell us what she said exactly, because you would remember, because you was on a freeway call, where you said that London was basically breading you information, saying that Divine is a liar, and that I never said that, you know what, I'd rather die by. Now, do I believe that London denied that he said that? Yes, I definitely believe that London denied saying that he made Divine his ride or die. Do you know why? Because he did it with the friends.
I can't answer that question.
You answered it on your birthday, though.
No, I didn't.
In my house, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
If they say, okay, London, pick one person you want to ride off in the sunset with, who is that going to be?
Of course it would be you.
Okay.
I mean, why would you even question that? You asked me that question
You don't
when I was
remember
sitting on
me-
the couch and I said,
Yes.
I can't make
so
that.
she did ask the question.
Yeah, she
Before
asked
you
it.
just said she didn't ask that.
At the dinner. And when they asked him about the situation, he tried to blend it and lied. Just be honest about it, yeah? And Divine said, no. Remember you answered the question at the house, and he had to get breaded up for that. So breaded up means basically he had to get buttered up. Basically, we had to show him a little level and say, listen, now fam, we're gonna have to expose you. So breaded up means I'm gonna have to expose what you're doing. You understand? So he had to get breaded up. Yeah, they had to bread him up and just kind of just make it obvious like, listen, bro, you kind of lying out here. So definitely, I feel like the London definitely would have told Alexis, no, that's not what happened. That's not how it went down. But for Alexis to come out and say we had a freeway conversation, you said this, that, and you can't say it indefinitely, you can't say it, you can't quote word for word, that lets me know you weren't on that call. You telling me there wasn't a part of the conversation that you memorized? Oh, you weren't on that call. Stop lying, girl.
London, the
I have
green light.
receipts.
I don't care
So,
what you have.
You don't want
I
to make
care.
yourself look
I don't
even worse
care
than
what
you look right
have.
now.
No, and you don't want to look
Because
as
I can
stupid
pull
as
up
you're
my
looking.
phone.
Notice something as well. Twice in a row, she says about, twice in this episode where she says about, I've got the receipts, yeah? And never pulls up one receipt. Yeah, that kind of person is an inflator. They just say things because they need to try and prove their point, but they have no substance to them. They have no substance to what they're saying. And so they're saying it as an empty, vain threat. Do you get it? Because she said it earlier on with London at the dinner tables, and said, obviously, do you want to put up the receipts? And then she said, it's not even worth it to do it anyway. No, it's not worth it. You ain't got receipts. Second one, obviously, they said to Divine, do you want to put up receipts? And Divine's like, go on then, put up the receipts. No receipts shown again, which means, Alexis, you ain't got receipts. Yeah? And it's okay. You tried to play the game, you didn't get it correct. It is what it is. We now know you ain't got receipts.
But do you fault him for throwing you under the bus and talking about you?
I don't know that to be fact.
Obviously, with Alexis, obviously pushing the narrative that we both got thrown underneath the bus as well. Sorry. With Alexis obviously saying that, we both got thrown underneath the bus. What that actually was what we call, I call it projection. And it's a self-defense mechanism. Basically, you kind of push your feelings onto somebody else. You kind of project onto them, saying, this is how you feel, this is how you feel, this is how you feel. And it's like, that's not how I feel. Like, that was not what was happening here. That's how you feel. But that's not how I feel. Do you know what I'm saying? And I got the sense from Alexis that because she wasn't winning this duel, because remember, Alexis is trying to play up to the crowd. There's girls in the room. She doesn't want to be embarrassed. She's already said, obviously, she's going to be like this, that. Her reputation's on the line. The ego's on the line. The pride's on the line. She has to find some way of drawing out a response from Divine that will give her power and leverage and show that her reputation is still intact. So you see that towards the end, there's even a drawing, even in essence, for almost like a fight. And during the whole